Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to show you how you can make your very own custom slider handle like you see here with text that displays the value right above it as you slide across. Alright, so let's get started with that. First thing we're going to need to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to need to create a widget. So come down here to widget blueprint. We'll call this my slider. We'll double click on that. And what we're going to do is we're going to first create a vertical box like so. And we're going to resize this to maybe something like 1,000. By about 200 should be good. And we will anchor this thing to the bottom. And the next thing we're going to want to add to this are one horizontal box. You can find it. Here we go. And then I'm going to add our slider into the vertical box. So I'm going to make this go to fill and the slider fill, but I'll put that at 0.4 or something. And we will just change this color, something like that, and make the size of this a little bigger, like 10. And the next thing we're going to want is a text box inside the horizontal box. And this we will set to something like 48. And we will make sure that this default is 0. And then we want this aligned to the bottom. And now we can resize this vertical box like that. And make sure this text is a variable. So we'll say my value. Okay. And then we're going to go into the graph here. And we don't need any of this. We're going to click on our slider and say on value change over here, we're going to have an event for this. And the event we want is a function that we're going to create. So we'll click right here and say move text. And we want one input on this function. And that's going to be our value, and it'll be a float. Once we have that, we're going to grab our text. We're going to say get the text and set text. Now this value is between 0 and 1, so the first thing we want to do is multiply float by a float. We'll multiply this by 100. And then we want to turn this into an integer, so we will truncate. And this value we'll be able to set our text to. Can get that out of the way. And we'll move this over here. And we'll get you out of the way. Now, in addition to that, we want to actually move our text value. So we will look for transform. Set render translation. This is what we want. And we'll split this because we only really want to move it along the x-axis. Now the total value, or the total size of our box, this whole horizontal, or the vertical box here, was 1,000. Which means that we want to be able to move it 1,000 units in the x direction. depending on what this value is. So we'll be able to take this value, which goes now to 100 here, and we're going to multiply this by 10, which will give us ranges to 1,000. That's what we want for our X translation of the text box. Okay, so we can compile and save all of that. And now we will go into our third person character. Let me delete this. And what we want to do off of event begin play is basically create a widget. And the widget that we want to create is my slider. And we will add that to the viewport, like so. And I'll just use this player controller here. We'll compile and save this. Now we minimize, we hit play, and you can see we have a slider here, and it is not moving. It would help if I called our function. So we will call this move text. And we're going to plug this value in for the slider right into the value of our function. And now we should be good. Hit play, we move text, and there you have it. Now as you can see, it looks like this is a little bit off center as it gets towards the end, and that's because the number went from 1 digit out to 3. So there really isn't a quick and easy way that I've found to fix that. You just play around with this number until you get something that you like. So I'll make this a little bit smaller, like 9.4. Compile and save. We'll hit play again. As you can see, it won't move it quite as far, and now it looks like it's pretty centered up with that 100. Alright guys, I hope that was helpful for you, and if it was, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more tutorials. Alright, see you guys later.